In this video, part 3 of the whole sign system, at the risk of confusing everyone, I'm showing the chart drawn in Placidus, which is a quadrant-based system in which the ascendant is the same as in any other system, including the whole house system, but it's showing the midheaven as the 10th house entry, and then you get the 10th house box, and then the 11th, and the 12th, and then the 1st, and so on. But I draw it this way to illustrate specifically the midheaven, because here it is shown as an important axis and as the 10th, which if you use the whole sign system, it's still the 10th sign because Scorpio is 1, so this is 12, 11, 10. But in some cases, you'll notice that it won't be the 10th, it might be the 11th or the 9th, depending on the time of day. And in extreme latitudes, it could even be the 12th. That's how far down the midheaven could go. In most cases, though, it's either in the 10th or 11th or 9th of the whole sign system. But what's important to mention here is that the origins of all this go back to the time of Ptolemy, who, by the way, is connected to the aspects we all use now, the main aspects being conjunction, sextile, square, trine, and opposition. They're called the Ptolemaic aspects. And he didn't talk about houses. He talked about places or signs from the ascendant. So he would have said, in a chart like this, Scorpio is the ascendant, Mars, Moon, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn are in the 3rd sign. He might have called it the 3rd place too, but more commonly he'd say the 3rd sign, and then Aquarius would be the 4th, no planets there, but then he'd say the Sun, Mercury, and Neptune are in the 6th sign. The idea of houses as boxes was something that came much later, and I believe to the detriment of good interpretation. Even though the whole sign system is possibly the oldest of the systems, and some people think it's simplistic, it is not. It is a really powerful system that works extremely well, and I highly recommend it to everyone. Now, in terms of the midheaven, and this goes to a point that in fact possibly unmasks the weakness of the quadrant systems, because the midheaven in the quadrant system is really critical. In fact, there are people, lots of people, who use the midheaven as the starting point. And I have to say I'm skeptical of that point of view because the midheaven turns out to be much more of a global point than an individual point. And this is something I will show in the next video, and I hope that you will find it interesting.